part is putting the trade sketches on the mood board together. So you'll need your font, and these notes I gave you in lesson 11, layout range boards in Illustrator. You have to make an A3 file. I've already shown you how to do that. You need your background images. I've shown you how to do that. Type and font you've done before, so you can look at the links I gave you. They're very handy for all sorts of things. You've got workbook examples, you've got design principles, branding, and then fonts. So you can either find a font and just do a screenshot of a font and drag it into either of these apps and they will tell you what font they are, or you can look at fashion apparel apps, fonts in use, Beginner's Guide to Font Pairing. You can download from that site, you can download from this site, and you can download from this site. So they've all got basic fonts that you can use, or you can always go to DaFont and find one, but remember, keep it clean. The general idea is that your heading will be the most fancy font, so your range name, your seasons, and you need your label name, which should be a completely different font. And then you will either, depending on how you've designed it, you'll either have written information, well, you will, every board should have written information, maybe a design philosophy, and your colour chips, unless you use your colours in your trade sketches. So this is the one I've come up with this time, so same font. That's a different font to this font, and to the written font. So the written font is the smallest. It's normally sans serif, meaning it doesn't have any hooks on it. Nice and clean, really quite small. Type size, probably around 12 points. I'm just going to copy the other type because I scaled it all when I brought it in. So it's probably about 13 points, I think. This written description, this information here, a bit bigger. Obviously the theme name's the biggest. Autumn winter is a little bit bigger, and the name not that big, and I've put by in quite small letters here. And what that is, why it looks like this is because after I spell checked everything, I went and selected all the type, and I went type, create outlines. Yeah, here it is, create outlines. So you need to do that if it's an imported font. So remember, you find the font, download it into your, or install it in your font book, and then you find some type, you go up to your type menu, come to font, and you can choose it from in here. So don't go too crazy on the written descriptions or any other information, just keep it nice and simple. And the font should give you a feeling for the range. So you'll need written descriptions of your garments. I'll show you one, for instance. Skirt 340 is my code number, asymmetric zip, 100% merino, 305 AU. Most pricing ends in 5, it just sounds cheaper. I've gone with the thick outline and the white fill on everything. I changed the grey colour to match back with this board. It's actually a very dark blue, these are at 25%. I've put in my PMS colour chips and also my fabric swatch, and the fabric swatch should be to scale, not the one that you scaled down to fill your trade with if you're doing it like that. So that's basically it. They're all created on different layers, that way you can sort of move things around, because it took quite a lot of scaling before I got to this point. I've closed that file now, but the file I gave you today gives you examples of too big, too small, and all those sorts of things. If you zoom out after you've made something and look at it, if it looks well balanced when it's really small, then you're probably okay. Command 0. So you're going to give me this file as an Illustrator document, but when you print things you need to turn them into a PDF. So we'll do that after I give it back to you in case it needs any changes. So that's how you finish off your trade sketching to make a trade mood board. And so the next thing we'll be doing is our lookbook, and you'll be using all the same information, maybe some of the same imagery, so keep it all goes together, so keep it similar.